Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about the top 10 most difficult vehicles to drive and use in Grand Theft Auto Online. So, GTA 5 has given players plenty of vehicle options to choose from over the years, especially with all the online updates. However, not all of them are super easy to use, control, or drive. And we'll be talking about some of those in this video today. I would, of course, love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Which vehicles would you add or take away from our list? Again, let me know what you guys are thinking about in those comments down below. All right, so our first vehicle on the list today at the number 10 spot is the Festival Bus. This was added in the After Hours update, which honestly added a lot of irregular vehicles in the game. This vehicle, however, can be purchased for $1,842,000 from Southern San Andreas Super Autos. And the Festival Bus not only has poor handling and braking, but it's the weird dimensions of the Festival Bus that makes it just impossible to use. Obviously, as you've noticed, it has the giant set of speakers and concert stand and DJ booth up top. It has that giant neon skull, which means you literally can't go under any bridge in the game. It's going to get stuck on every single power pole. It is just so inconvenient to use. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's basically a prison bus with a bunch of musical equipment stacked onto it. And then some liveries that you can put on there. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure I used this for the nightclub setup mission and then never, ever touched it again. Is it cool? Yes. But it is so unfun to drive. Anyways, moving on at the number 9 spot today, the Stanley Tractor. So I don't know if Rockstar has blacklisted this vehicle. I know for a time that you could either get it to spawn in or you could actually store it. But this old tractor, which can actually be found towards the lighthouse up in game, is probably the worst vehicle in the game. Not only is it incredibly rusty, it is ridiculously slow. Even driving in perfect conditions on asphalt, you're getting passed by NPCs driving little dirt bikes. It is hysterically bad. So I'm pretty sure there's some other tractors that you can actually use, actually more modern tractors. But this is one of the older ones that apparently your character can still utilize. And it is just tremendously slow. Obviously, there's no customization to make it perform any better. But yeah, there you go. That's at the number 9 spot today, the Stanley Tractor. The number 8 spot today, another vehicle that I think you could actually spawn in Grand Theft Auto Online, but obviously you can never purchase from a website. That is the HVY Cutter. So the entire family of HVY vehicles, like the Dozer and whatnot, they all have pretty terrible handling, but this one is particularly unique because it has one of the oddest shapes in the game. It's very long, but it also has that extended tunnel excavating attachment on there, which obviously makes it very difficult not only to essentially use, but you can't even see this vehicle. You can't go in first person, and even when you're backed out all the way in third person view, you can't see over the giant cutting attachment. So this thing is enormous. It won't even fit in a Los Santos custom shop or a garage, obviously, making it one of the worst maneuverable vehicles in the entire game. Moving on at the number 7 spot today, the Lawnmower. So I believe you can find these vehicles at the Los Santos Golf Club. And the Lawnmower is terrible for a couple of reasons. A, it's slow, like most lawnmowers are in real life if you've ever been on them. But also, number 2, because it is so low to the ground, obviously because that's the only way lawnmowers work, it means it's going to get stuck on every single little curb, everything that is not 100% perfectly flat, even bodies that I guess technically you can run over in the lawnmower. So basically, the second you would take this thing off of the golf course, it would get stuck on a little curb, a little rock, and then you would basically have lost it forever. So because of that, it makes it almost impossible to drive, again, making it one of the more difficult vehicles in the game. That's at the number 7 spot. The number 6 spot today, the Blimp. So there's been several blimps added. The Atomic Blimp, the one added in the nightclub. And blimps obviously are not very maneuverable. They can't make all that tight turns. They aren't weaponized. They are incredibly difficult to steer. And because of how large they are naturally, they are giant targets for everyone else in the lobby. And so because of that, you essentially have like no hope at all of utilizing this. Like I said, unless you're doing some nightclub mission, there is absolutely no reason why you should even attempt to utilize a vehicle like this in Grand Theft Auto Online. So needless to say, not a super easy vehicle to use. At the number 5 spot today, the Avala Tall. So this was added with a handful of vehicles similar to this in the Smuggler's Run DLC. And the Avala Tall is supposed to be like a sleek bomber plane. However, because it is so large, it makes it nearly impossible to use. Obviously, you're only going to be able to take this vehicle off on very select runways. You can't even really use a makeshift runway for this vehicle to take off. Now, it does have a tremendously top speed, but very bad acceleration, almost terrible handling. And so because of that, it doesn't really have the handling or even defensive capabilities to dodge or withstand an attack. So if someone's on like an Oppressor Mark II or even in like a Buzzard, you're pretty much doomed with this vehicle. We'll talk about another one that's pretty similar in a little bit. But anyways, let's move on. And at the number 4 spot today, we have got the golf cart. So another vehicle that you would probably find at the golf course. And this vehicle, I'm actually sure many of you guys have probably driven in real life if you're a golfer or you just use them to get around your neighborhoods. And one thing you've probably noticed about little golf carts like this is they are incredibly lightweight, usually because a lot of them in real life are electric. And so naturally you want to make them as light as possible. And that means they are very easy to tip over. And they're also very easy to tip over in Grand Theft Auto Online as well. So that means if you go on a curb or, goodness forbid, another car hits you, you're basically going to go tumbling in this thing. So needless to say, it isn't fast. It doesn't accelerate all that well. You're obviously completely exposed to the entire elements in the world of Los Santos. So it's not all that great of a vehicle. Let's just say that. The number 3 spot today, I put this one on the list for a specific reason, but it is the Pegasi Ultralight. Now, the reason I have it on the list today is because it's actually free right now in Grand Theft Auto Online as a part of the current event week. So naturally, a lot of people are probably going to either buy this vehicle for the first time or start using it again. And because of that, you'll probably notice the difficulties of this. Like, nothing is ordinary about this plane. It's like a tricycle, it's a plane, it's a glider, but it's not really effective at either of those things. It's also very, very slow and fragile. So even though it does have some cool features like going off the radar and now being free in Grand Theft Auto Online, it still, isn't exactly a very user-friendly vehicle. Let's just say that. The number 2 spot today, the RM10 Bushka. So this was supposed to be the MOC of the sky. I remember when Rockstar was advertising this vehicle for Smuggler's Run, I was like, man, this is going to be so cool. It's got all these weapons. It's got like the MOC-esque cabin. But it is one of the most challenging vehicles to use in the entire game. It basically has like the handling of a cargo plane. It is so slow. It accelerates terribly. It doesn't turn all that well. And on top of that, it has some of the weakest armor in the entire game. So for a vehicle that you're supposed to use during air freight cargo missions, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for that either. So that's why, understandably, the RM10 Bushka, just simply one of the worst vehicles to use in the game. And at the number 1 spot today, the Kraken Submarine. So the Kraken Submarine might simply have the worst handling of all time. It is impossible to maneuver. It's kind of hard to judge because obviously you can only use it in the water, but it also has very bad visibility due to kind of the darkness of not only the sea floor, but also the view you get in first person and in third person. You're going to be crashing all the time. It's just incredibly difficult. And on top of that, now there are so many better submarine options like the Stromberg. It's pretty much made the Kraken Submarine like completely worthless, other than the fact that they did kind of give it away for free with the next generation version. But anyways, that right there is the 10 most difficult vehicles to use here in Grand Theft Auto Online. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Which vehicles would you add or remove from our list today? Let me know what you're thinking down there. If you guys did go to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll automatically be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.